So PZ3 released another demo. Just so you know, one came out like 4 to 5 months ago, and now another one has came out, and nothing's changed. Like at all. It's practically the same thing, but you know, I'm still gonna talk about it. I have to say, honestly, PZ3 had so much potential, though it was run into the ground by PopCap. From a first glance, you would think they were getting somewhere, but in hindsight, they really didn't. They actually backtracked and somehow found a way to make it worse. PZ3 Evolved fails to be what makes a Plants vs. Zombies game for so many reasons. It's actually appalling how bad it fails to be a PvZ game. Okay, not everything is bad, but PZ3 Evolved does not feel like a Plants vs. Zombies game. It feels like mobile game slop trying to beat tower defense. I'll explain everything in this video, trust me. This might be one of the worst sequels to a video game. I don't want to complain about the entire video, so I'll give some pros. Like I said, there is potential here. Some fusion ideas are well designed. They're charming, there's some exceptions, and the art style isn't exactly great, but again, these are the pros. Certain plant designs are creative, like the numbing cabbage or the mega sunshroom. They're cute and visually pleasing, though I think I'm just used to the clustered mess that is modern PvZ2 designs. That plants that have at least a little effort put into them is almost a miracle. They removed the avatars. The avatars were honestly very un-PvZ. Then again, even if you remove these avatars, this game still feels like it's trying to be Plants vs. Zombies, but it isn't. You can shovel plants now too. Previously you couldn't for some reason. It was always annoying placing down plants in the wrong place and just having to deal with it. I didn't understand why it wasn't there in the first place. What else? Mo looks cute. Does that count? I'm trying, guys. It's a little obvious I'm grasping straws. I think that's it for the pros. Let's cover the basis of Plants vs. Zombies gameplay. You start off with a lawn. You get familiar with the game, and within each level, there's always something new, whether you're introduced to a new zombie or a new level gimmick. There's around 1 or 2 unique mechanics in one world, like how night doesn't drop sun and has gravestones, or how straight projectiles can't go too far in roof levels, or the implementation of bungee zombies. This is to make sure that within each level or world, it doesn't feel repetitive. There's always a new obstacle of some kind. Typically with these obstacles, zombie or lawn gimmick, you're introduced to some sort of counter. This doesn't mean that plants should purely be gimmicky or anything. That's actually what would make a bad plant. But sometimes, this is the way it works. Like the umbrella leaf, gravebuster, or the lily pad, who all have counters to specific zombies or level hindrances. Even PvZ2 has these kinds of examples, like how Bloomerang can tackle camel zombies, or Spikeweed for barrel roller zombies. Some plants don't fit their respective worlds at all though, like garlic. But the point is, PZ3, yes, it does suggest plants for a level that fits as the best counter for zombies, but they do it in the lamest, most boring way possible. Let me give you an example. Randomly, the Parasol zombie is introduced, and obviously, you can't use lobbers against it, so you have to use pea shooters. Or, the balloon zombie, you have to use lobbers in order to reach it, not straight projectiles. Or lastly, the pigeon zombie is weak against Spikeweed or Zaptails. Yeah, that's it. I understand this is a demo, but just using the same plants over and over again, and the only sort of challenge or difficulty isn't because certain zombies require a better strategy, it's because of the leveling system. Well, that's a whole different segment. The zombies are boring, or just repeats of zombies from previous entries. There's literally nothing to them. And in terms of level gimmicks, there's nothing really distinctive about them that really stands out. At least PvZ2 came up with mechanics that weren't just repeats of the first game, like Wild West's minecarts, Frostbite Cave's freezing system, or Jurassic Marsh's dinosaurs. The latest updated PvZ3 offers gravestones, tiles that you can't place any plants on, meteors, and thunderstorms. First of all, the gravestones and soil tiles have no counter. You either use lobber plants for the gravestones, or you just place plants around the soil, unless you have one of the boosts, though I'll go back to those later. The meteors and thunderstorms both do have counters, the umbrella leaf, though both of those mechanics are practically the same if you think about it. In fact, every level feels the same. It's the same pattern over and over again, and eventually the player's going to get bored. Like Sid Meier once said, a game is a series of interesting choices. PZ3 does not follow this. There's no interesting choices. There's no thought put into it. You're a robot placing the same plants over and over again. But here's the worst part, something a lot of you already know. Both PvZ1 and other PvZ2 levels were all individually coded to be different and unique in their own ways. More so the first game, but since PvZ3 decided to have a whopping 100 levels, the team decided that instead of making each level feel important in some way, they're all randomized for everyone. Meaning there's no set level design. And when everything is randomized, don't expect any strategy or well pacing. A level typically feels so rushed. Zombies move at the speed of light, same with the overall timing of a level. This is not what George Fan had in mind. As he said once before, that when making the zombies, he wanted an enemy that people would just look at and immediately realize that's a slow enemy. He said, I wanted the enemies to come on screen and walk at you really slowly to give you time to strategize against them. If the game had been Plants vs. Cheetahs, it wouldn't work. But the zombies now in this third game feel like the cheetahs. A level is around 2 minutes or 2 minutes and a half. A PvZ1 level can be almost 5 minutes. It takes its time as you need time for strategy. Why is Potato Mine even in the third game if zombies practically come in immediately? Look how fast they come in. This becomes such a problem, and you will see especially when I tackle difficulty. The level design sucks, no surprise there. So you know how the basics of Plants vs. Zombies gameplay is that when you beat a level, that's typically how you unlock plants? Both PvZ1 and older PvZ2 were like that. And the fun in unlocking plants through progression, trying them out, etc. Well, modern PvZ2 is all about unlocking plants through seeds by playing Arena, which sucks. It's a pain, and it's meant to be an alternative to microtransactions, but in reality, it isn't. You either grind through Arena or you buy seeds through the shop. The third game decided to take the same steps, but somehow, it's worse, much worse. Not only do you start off with your basic plants, which isn't a big deal whatever, you don't unlock fusions through level progression. Not at all actually. You unlock plants through collecting their seeds. You're probably wondering on my gameplay, you barely see any fusions. You mostly see basic plants, which is weird because, the game is all about fusions, right? Well, that's because it's practically impossible to get any freaking plant. There's only 5 fusions that you unlock automatically, and that's all. That's because just like the basic plants, you have to unlock them through the seeds. Not just one pair of seeds, but 2 pairs of different plants, but it depends on what the fusion is. And oh my goodness, you have to get so many to unlock one singular fusion, even if it's a tier 2. Good luck trying to get a tier 3 fusion at all. You cannot get seeds through progression. You gain coins and EXP for leveling your plants up when finishing a level, but that's it. That's all you get unless there's one random level where you can unlock Sunshroom or Tangle Kelp after like 30. Then at some point you just stop unlocking plants. The only way to unlock seeds is going through a progression bar where you unlock certain rewards, which is exhausting by the way. But even then, the seeds you unlock might not even be the ones that you want to target. Or the second way is the Zen Garden. There's other ways too, but it's for a different segment. I'm talking about the free ways. PvZ3 Zen Garden is just objectively bad. You don't unlock Sprout through a level progression. There's no such thing as unlocking anything like that. Level progression, what's that? You have a limit of a few hearts in a day where you can place any basic plant you want. And once you do, you have to wait a bit for it to grow. You can fuse them as well. You have to give a plant water or spray or light, but in order to get these items for these plants, you have to play minigames. These minigames are boring. They're nothing like the minigames from PvZ1. They're just mobile game slop that you see in the advertisements that this game desperately needs. But guys, there's a limit to playing these games in a day. And there's also a limit to planting plants in a day as well. You have to wait 9 hours. Sorry. Were the people behind this game generally on drugs when they were developing it? What were they thinking? There's a video by Kyo that tackles how long it would take to unlock every plant in PvZ3, and you will not believe it.
And if I round up the numbers, it'll be 255 days, which is 8 months and a half to unlock every plant. You also require 2,550 hearts and 3,003 resources.
There's barely any plants, and it is a demo. And you're telling me to unlock every fusion, which is supposed to be the main attraction for the game, practically takes almost a year? Are you kidding me? Because it's so hard to unlock plants, you're stuck having to use the basic plants over and over and over again, with the same zombies over and over and over again, and in order to get any other plant, you have to do the same steps over and over and over again. Sorry to quote George Fan again, but he emphasized it perfectly, and it further on proves my point that his vision for PvZ is non-existent in this game. Also, I feel like in the first case, the game designer balances the game so that it's about the right pace. It's not overly tedious to get the sword. You have to maybe replay a level a couple of times, but there's still enough interesting things happening at that point that it doesn't feel like a complete grind. PvZ3 is tedious, overly tedious, leading it to be so freaking boring. I barely know what most of these plants do because I haven't been able to play it at all. You can beat all the levels without even knowing what every fusion does. PvZ Fusion, the game they shamelessly copied from, works in a way where pretty much every fusion is unlocked from the get-go. Apart from the ones you can unlock through challenges, but that's acceptable. You have to adapt and learn through progression what fusions there are, what they do, etc. There's systems to them, unique mechanics, etc. This is fun. This leads the player to continue playing and not wanting to hang themselves the further they go. Only PopCap can find a way to mess up their main point of their game. PopCap is greedy. There's no surprise there at this point. They've given PvZ2 away in order to make it easier and cheaper for themselves. PvZ1 Mobile is now infested with ads and microtransactions, and PvZ Replanted costs $20. I think the third game is the nail on the head that PopCap is desperate. They're desperate for money, and they don't care what us fans say. We keep playing whatever they offer anyway, so might as well shake their cans asking for money in hopes that we will pay. Everything now is all about ads and microtransactions. Oh, you want to place a 4th plant on a flower pot in the Zen Garden? Watch an ad. Oh, you want more hearts for the Zen Garden? Watch an ad. You want 5 gems or 50 coins? Don't worry, you can watch an ad. Play more of those boring minigames for your Zen Garden? Advertisements. This game is so infested with ads, it's actually so scummy. Speaking of scumminess, just take a look at the store. A pack for $15, $5 less than Replanted, or the 6-7 perk pack for $30. I don't care if this is removed or whatever, charging any pack in PvZ3 for more than $5 is actually just insane. Kids play this game, PopCap is not stupid. They know what they're doing and they clearly don't learn their lesson. PopCap, buddy, people got pissed when you guys decided to release microtransactions on PvZ2 the first time it came out. People blamed EA. But the truth is, it was really PopCap's fault. Screw EA anyway, but still. The worst part is the plant pass. What is this, bro? What was their mindset when they were making this? This isn't Fortnite. This is Plants vs. Zombies. I think this is exactly why they made it such a grindy game in the first place. They make things out of balance or hard to achieve, so players, mostly children, will give up and just pay for whatever it is that they're grinding for in the first place. I don't know if I'm being dramatic or not, but there's genuinely no excuse for this. You know how I keep mentioning over and over again that Plants vs. Zombies is a game of strategy, and how for certain situations, your selection of plants might be different from your last round, and there's some sort of thinking to what you do? Let me ask you viewers a question. Do you think a leveling system helps a game of strategy, or makes it worse? Should a basic pea shooter be able to kill one gargantuar? No, it shouldn't. But if you level up your pea shooter to around level 10, you could technically beat one, just as long as you grind, since this game loves doing that so much. Yeah, the leveling system is stupid, really stupid, and it doesn't really make any sense. It shifts the focus from smart planting to the grind. Plants should be the way they are and shouldn't change. A pea shooter could technically do more damage than a Mega Gangly Pea. Then what is the point of using a Mega Gangly Pea? In fact, what's the point of using any fusion if you could just increase your basic plant stats all the way up, so they're incredibly powerful in comparison to any fusion. Not like it's easy to get any fusion plant anyways, as you guys know. The stronger fusion should, by definition, always be stronger than the non-fusion. But with the leveling system, they aren't. Congratulations, PopCap, you just made this game even worse. Further proof they don't listen, by the way, because the community is very adamant and vocal about how PvZ2's leveling system does suck. But they needed to monetize their game, so why wouldn't they add it, right? Of course, since the plants can be leveled up, Obviously, the zombies are leveled up as if they're incredibly strong. You have no choice but to level up plants. At least in PvZ2, you don't necessarily need to level plants up in adventure mode, but good luck trying the same thing here. The zombies are crazy strong when they're leveled up. This means that if you're behind in leveling, your plants can't really proceed with adventure mode, so you need to grind resources that, as mentioned, is incredibly tedious. The first game had no mention or use of a leveling system, and it was perfect. People loved it and appreciated it for what it was. So why did PopCap add one in the first place? I already mentioned why, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because now it's broken. I really don't want to be upset. I don't want to be angry. I want to enjoy the game I'm playing. I don't want to complain. But with how bad the game is, I really can't help it. There's a reason why people don't like it, and I think I've given enough reasons that emphasize why people don't enjoy it. The game's gone from a passionate tower defense game with a lot of love and effort put into it to a greedy, unbalanced mess. You would notice if you look through the timeline of PvZ games, it just slowly get worse and worse. Older PvZ2 was actually a good sequel in my opinion, and their Garden Warfare games were great, so it really makes you wonder how it fell apart so fast. I'm hoping PopCap takes these critiques and does something with them. Start from the ground up again if you have to. Again, there is potential, there really is. But PopCap needs to take that potential and do something with it. But I have no faith at this point. Not anymore at least. That's about it, guys. See ya.